Hey everybody, it's Ken Davenport. Welcome back to the Producer's Perspective. Live tonight, choreographer and director Sonya Tayeh, Moulin Rouge, Sing Street, Rent Live. That's right, she's used to this live stuff. And a whole bunch of other things, including Miley Cyrus. We're going to get to Sonya in just a few moments. Mary, hit it!
We're getting the band back together, getting the boys who rock again. We're getting the band back together in the midst of a place that remembers when some punks from the suburbs lit the sky with too much reverb. We're getting the band back together.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the live stream. How's everybody doing tonight? Let's see some comments in there. Where's Drew? Drew, are you here? Drew, I hope you're here. It is not a live stream without you. I hope everyone's doing well today as we get back past Labor Day now. So we're kicking in. The fall is upon us. And unfortunately, the lockdown is still upon us, as is this pandemic. So we're fighting our way through it, and we are getting through it. I want to welcome you all here tonight. Thank you so much for being here as we continue to raise money for the Actors Fund. And remember, every time you see me on one of these things, doing a live stream, that means this pandemic is going on longer, which means the Actors Fund needs your support even more. So do whatever you can, throw something in the Actors Fund tip jar. Remember, you can do that very cool thing and throw stars at us, just like when I was like 14 years old and thought I was the Karate Kid, and like they had these throwing stars. Very dangerous. We used to make them actually, like in metal shop. It's very, very not safe, but it was the 80s. So anyway, welcome back. So good to see so many of you here again. Don't forget that if you missed any of the episodes, including last week, we had the incredible Raul Esparza share a whole bunch of stories with us from all his different shows, including, by the way, I fanboyed all over him and told him about one of my top 5 moments in all of musical theater history. That was on the live stream last week with Raul. You can catch all the replays. Look at all those people. Lee Silverman, Alan Cumming, Lonnie Price, Sierra Boggess. She was episode number 3. Whole bunch of them, over 70 of them. Go back and binge watch them. Binge watch them if you want. They're all on my Facebook page. Go check it out. Every single one of them will remind you to donate to the Actors Fund, because that is why we are here. Coming up next week, we have the incredible playwright Matthew Lopez, author of this past season's The Inheritance. We're going to talk to him. We've got Will Swenson coming up. We've got Leia Salonga on a tape delay. We've already taped it. It's a fantastic one because she's in the Philippines. A whole bunch of stuff. A couple things I want to draw your attention to. I will say this. You've probably seen this on social media and written out. I'm going to say it. I am an arts worker. I am an arts worker. Go check this out. The arts contributes billions of dollars to the economy. So go do me a favor, call your congressperson, and let's get some funding for the arts. And all over, right? The artists all over need your help. We were the first out. We're going to be the last back, and I believe we are the most important antidote to this when it's all over. We're all going to need a big lift, and the arts are going to do that. I'm already seeing pictures and hearing things of people going to some of the museums here in New York City, and the feedback, people are getting so emotional just seeing pieces of art. Well, wait till they see it living and breathing and standing and singing and, yes, dancing like crazy, which brings me to our guest tonight. I'm so thrilled because I'm going to be very honest. I've never met this woman. I've never met her, not face to face, but we're going to meet her right now. Please welcome Sonya Tayeh to the live stream.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
You know what? I am just living the pandemic dream.
It's a loaded question. Yes, it's a loaded question.
How are you? It's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you as well. I'm hanging in. I'm hanging in. Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you? Where
I'm
have
in
you
Brooklyn.
been? You've been Brooklyn. Have you been here the whole time?
I have. Yes.
You have.
Mm-hmm.
So where were you when the live stream? Where were you when the virus hit the fan, as I like to say, when it all began? Where were you?
I was walking into our first day of tech for Sing Street on Broadway. That's the day where you have all the butterflies in your tummy and you run into the theater and you see your set built and everyone's running around all excited, and instead we were receiving, I was receiving some text. I had a pre-rehearsal prior to walking to the theater, and Rebecca walked in the room and looked, Rebecca Teichman, the director, looked like something was wrong and something was happening, something devastating. And then we walked into the theater and gathered, and they told us this was happening and that we had to leave, and they would let us know next steps, and the rest is a blur.
Did you expect to like come back just a couple days later? Were you thinking like, oh, I'll be back next week? Or did you have any idea it would be 6 months later and this would still be going on?
I don't think anyone could imagine this, but something, I remember coming home and feeling a really strange gut feeling, a daunting feeling, that this was going to be a journey. I didn't know the extent of it, but I definitely felt that it wasn't going to be a week. I definitely felt that. I really, in my body, felt something was upon us that was going to force us to reevaluate everything, you know?
And tell us a little bit, let's just go before this. You've come to the theater in a different route than a lot of choreographers, yes? Tell us about your roots and how you got here eventually, because you came through the modern dance world, right?
Yes, I grew up, I was born in Brooklyn, but I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, and always loved dancing. I am rooted in the underground dance scene in Detroit, where techno music and house music was the sacred music in Detroit.
So wait, I have to stop you there, only because if people did not know, I am not the coolest person on the planet. So when
I have no coolness either. Trust.
So when you say underground dance movement, I don't even know like what that is. Please,
okay, so
bring us into the world.
Have you heard of a rave party?
Yes,
So
sort of.
So these parties are really late in seedy
Wait,
areas of the city.
like 8:30 p.m. You're talking?
Oh my goodness. They start around 1 a.m. and they go until 8 a.m. Sometimes midnight is the start time. So you take your disco nap around 7 p.m., 6 p.m., and then you dance all night long. And this was before, I think rave culture has gotten a little tricky and messy. But back then it was really about expression in all forms, music. There would be dance, there would be art everywhere for sale, from graffiti artists from Detroit, just this really amazing group of people that were getting to know themselves in a really visceral way. So that's the start of my dance, my love for dance. But I also remember standing a lot and watching and thinking, I want to make this. So I knew pretty fast I didn't want to dance it. I wanted to make the dance, if that makes sense.
And how old were you at this point?
16, 17, really young.
So you didn't grow up in a tutu like at
I had a couple tutu moments. I danced a couple years at in this amazing woman's basement. I went to a local dance studio when I was a teenager, but nothing consistent from little baby Sonia to adult Sonia. I don't consider the formal, focused, hardy training came from incredible professors from community college to college. That's how I learned to dance, in my opinion. And it made me feel, because in Detroit, a lot of those professors had their own techniques, but also it was very much tricky, because when you go to dance schools, you usually go when you're really young. So when I would try to go to those schools and try to get the training that I desired so wholeheartedly, they didn't really know where to place me because I was older or it was too late, which I find so strange. The too late is just wrong. It's wrong in every dream you have. I find that to be very wrong and wildly intimidating to be said to as a teenager. You're too late. You know what I mean? But I refuse to believe that. And then I happened to fall into these incredible women professors that had their own techniques, and they're amazing teachers that said this is going to be hard, but what isn't? And here's the anatomy coloring book, here's the skeleton, learn. And I drown myself in it, and I love it so much.
Well, you study, like, this is why I love talking to choreographers, because it's the area of musical theater that I know the least about. So you studied anatomy. That was one of the first things you looked at. And
for me, I didn't find myself to be a natural at the form, if you will. I could dance, but I wanted to know, and I was taught this too, is what's the root of it? Where does it start? And understanding my body and understanding what parts of my bones and muscles are moving. For me, that gave me confidence to be able to articulate the way I wanted my choreography to look like. So I wasn't just focused on either replicating something or referencing something too much, that I really had my own voice inside of what I was learning. That was really important to me. And for me to do that, I found learning anatomy and how the body moves, learning the science behind it, allowed me to embrace my tightness of my body, my limitations, if you will. I was able to, it gave me the allowance to really embrace those and know my body very specifically, and then study it, and then express it, and then express it to someone else, and so on and so on.
So you're a teenager. You're dancing at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And you know, who knows about curfews, right? Curfews.
It wasn't, because it was very much the way you expressed yourself in that city, for me, in my circle in the city. So it wasn't bad. It was just part of the culture.
And you knew right away that you wanted to make it. So what was the first thing you made? When you came to that epiphany moment of like, this is amazing, I want to make this, what was the first thing you created?
Well, the first thing I made was a solo on myself in elementary school to a Janet Jackson song. That was the first thing I made. So let's be real.
Which Janet Jackson song? Yeah.
Pleasure Principle. Hello, of course.
Okay.
Pleasure Principle was like the ultimate.
I did the same thing. We have a lot in common.
Did you do the whole song?
No, absolutely.
That was the first thing I made. But then the first thing I made was, we had choreography class, composition class in college. And we had our spring concerts, and they pick who gets to choreograph for the concert. And I was able to, they picked me. And I built a piece to, I believe it was Basement Jacks. Do you know that group, Basement Jacks? The electronic.
I mean, I told you, I am not cool, so I have no clue who they are. No clue.
But I had the best. It was so exhilarating. And terrifying, because you just don't know how you make this a living. You know, you don't know how. It was overwhelming, because I knew it was a need as well as a want. That's what it felt like. And
so you end up doing a lot of choreography for modern dance and some TV. And then what was the first call to the theater? Tell me about the first time you were like, oh, I now want to do that. Or how did you get pulled into our world?
I knew when I started, I just wanted to do work that was inspiring. So I never really I don't have like a focused dream or like an area, which I find sometimes is difficult because they want you to pick a lane. And that's just not,
Who's they?
Exactly. That's a great question. That is a fabulous question. Anyone, the ladder of people that are giving you jobs, there's often questions, not as much anymore as I get older, but it was, oh, she does TV. Oh, she does, it was like, I always say, they would say, Sonya Tayeh from So You Think You Could Dance, like it was my home address, like from. You know what I mean? Or like,
Of course. It's a good neighborhood, but still.
Oh, but incredible. So many amazing colleagues from there, but that was 2 months out of my life. So don't define that as me. But when I started getting jobs in New York, little jobs here and there when I was 43 now, 36, 35, something like that. And I would come visit my best friend Lauren. I just loved it here. I loved it here so much, but I had this really steady career that was really taking off in LA. And then I got a call about The Last Goodbye, a musical to Jeff Buckley's music based on Romeo and Juliet. And I was like, yeah. And at that time, my knowledge of musicals was very much about the showy part of it. So I didn't know if I ever would have a place there, or if someone would hire me to choreograph Hello Dolly. You know what I mean? Which I think I would absolutely love to do. And
I would pay a lot of money to see that myself.
But so I immediately jumped to the chance, and the minute we got into the space, I was hooked, and then I kept meditating about it, like how do I explode my life open and move to New York when I have this steady career? But I also at that time was feeling really lonely in terms of the want of collaboration and the speed of what working in LA, just for me, in my opinion, the speed of the work just was, I was getting behind. I felt like I was constantly trying to catch up. It was too fast for me over the years. So, and to sit in a room and dissect a script and talk to, I have a table of collaborators was just, I knew it. So I kept meditating and saying, just keep giving me a reason to get to New York. Keep giving me a reason to get to New York. And then Lee Silverman called about Kung Fu. And I said, I'm out. I'm out. I sold everything and moved here.
Were you scared?
No.
No.
Excited? No. I shouldn't say no so confidently. No? Maybe that's better. Excited that I was going to be challenged. I really, really love being challenged. I really, really love it. And I knew it was going to be. Then I knew I was going to have to jump over some hurdles because I was coming into a new venue, And
what was the biggest hurdle you found you had to jump over once you got here? Or even looking back, like, boy, that was a bitch of a hurdle.
The television side of my career, which was absolutely incredible, life-altering and amazing. People didn't think I could do like long-form work, which I found really frustrating, or just assumed I couldn't. Long-form meaning like a full production.
Yeah.
And in LA, I was making shows. I was renting theaters and doing shows often and creating an evening for you to see. So when you're on television, it's just easy to judge. It's easy to sit in your living room, watch this person and make a million assumptions about them, which is really unfair and really frustrating. That was hard. That just the way I had to prove that I could. But I was like, bring it, whatever you need. I'm ready, and I'm going to do the work, and I'm going to understand. But I'm going to understand the form of musicals, but I'm also going to bring myself into the musical. That's why you hire me, right? Like that's why you hire each person. So you can be brought in to bring yourself inside of it. And I just wanted that chance so badly. And Lee gave me that chance.
When it comes down to it, we're really just snobs here. I mean, we really are. No, listen, I admit it. Like, you're Brooklyn born. You were like, you learned to dance at raves in Detroit, and we're like, oh no, she's too Hollywood for us at first.
I think, but I think it's just and even in LA, you get to, there's a syllabus, and I think that things need to shift more, take chances more, try different things, and bring a bunch of different minds in the room. We come from so many different places. I come from a completely different world than Lee, completely different world than Alex, but that's why we, I think, embody each other, because we embrace those differences and we utilize them and create art that way. And that's beautiful to me.
Yeah, what's incredible about your career already is that there's such a diversity in the style of work you're doing. It's from Sing Street to Moulin Rouge, Kung Fu. So tell me a little bit about your process. When you get a call about Moulin Rouge, which it's eye-popping. I'm sure some critic called it that because that's exactly what it is. It's incredible movement, and the energy and joy and all of it just bursting off the stage. But so what's the first thing you do when you're like, oh, Moulin Rouge? Okay, I'm going to do that. How do you start?
And it depends on each project. So I'll give you the general idea, then I'll give you the Moulin Rouge story. How's that?
Yeah, good.
Okay, so I usually I go into a space by myself or with my people that do pre-production with me, my amazing friends, and I think about the themes, or I read the script a million times, or I have the script with me, and I have my references with me, and then I start to move around without any music, just in silence, because I find I really enjoy opposing music, opposing the musicality of things, and creating a really cinematic experience. So I start to just move around and think about the characters in the show, think about what I'm trying to say when I'm building my own work, where I am in my life, and I start to build phrases. And then I record them, and then I press play, and I just move to them and see. Sometimes it's spot on, sometimes it's very off, and then I learn from that, which is really inspiring to me. It feels, because I want it to feel like I want it to feel emotional. It's important to have an emotion, a constant emotionality to it. So I need to make sure it's coming from me in a sincere way, and I don't want anything to get in the way. That's why I don't listen to the music. That's just my theory on it. So it's a lot of quiet time and just really visualizing the world that I was hired to come to life. Moulin Rouge. I saw the premiere in Detroit when I was younger. And I remember running out of the theater, sprinting around, screaming, "All you need is love," over and over and over. And being so taken aback by the excess. And I thrive on excess. My work is to challenge the body. It's highly physical. It has a lot of aggression to it, a lot of momentum. And that's what I learned with the skeleton and the anatomy, just how you can mess with momentum and how you can trick momentum is really inspiring to me. So when Alex called me, I freaked out, but I acted like I was cool on the phone. And I had to audition for it. There was a couple of us that had to audition for it.
So tell me, what's an audition for a choreographer? Most people won't know what that is.
So, it's not amazing. It's really stressful. I go back and forth about it, because I also understand that in some to bring in new artists, maybe they need a little bit more of a reference point. So at that time it was like, oh. But when I remember getting off the phone and saying, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this. I kept saying it really loud to myself. Like, this is, if I do a Broadway show, this is the dance I want to do. This is the dance. This is it. So I got a pile of amazing artists together, and we had a week or two to create 2 sections of the show. And it took, I think, 3 or 4 months to let me know. It was brutal.
We got to get Alex on this live.
It wasn't his fault.
It
wasn't his fault. I think it was 3 months, or it felt like that. Okay, it was a long time.
Yeah, Alex, it was like 3 days.
Totally, exactly. But it was such beyond a state of elation when I got that call. I was so happy and so excited because that's the dance I want to do. That's the dance I want to see. And that's, there they are.
Look at that.
I missed them.
Oh,
so
you
much.
missed them. I could hear it in your voice.
They are just an army of incredibly strong-willed, incredibly talented artists in that show. And the most beautiful thing about it is so much dance holds the story. There's dance that no one is speaking. And you're just met with the belief that people sometimes don't believe in, which drives me nuts, is dance can say so much. It says so much. It allows you to feel so much when you believe it and you let the dance. Does that make sense? When you just let it happen. And without the Moulin Rouge is begging you for dance, is begging you for access by the movie, the way that it's cut, the sharp cuts, the steady cams, the overhead camera, all of that was part of my inspiration in terms of momentum. I wanted you to feel that, just like the movie. That type of whiplash. Oh my God, I miss them. Sorry. I miss them so much. That was a long-winded answer, sorry.
No, it's so good. And so you said something about a few times, you just talked about that incredible cast and those artists. And then you said, I go into a room and I grab some of my people, my friends, you called them. What does it take to be one of your friends / one of the people that you choose to be in your show? Someone asked this on Instagram, what you look for in an artist when you have one of those dance calls. Like what jumps out and says, that person, I need to have that. Is it technique? What is it?
Willingness. All of the other stuff I can fix. If you fall, if you wobble, if you fall off balance, all of that I can fix. If you're scared, we'll talk about it. But if you come into that room and you have laser focus and I can feel that you're hearing me and I can feel that you're trying, that's all I connect to, because that was me when I was younger. I just wanted a chance, but I was ready. I was so ready. That's for me, there's an utmost fire that I need to feel next to you, an utmost desire. And I speak this largely because I really love dance. I'm obsessed with dance. I sweat when I talk about it. My voice gets really loud. I just love it so much, and because it took a lot to get here, So I need to know that that's part of your approach to auditioning or just being an artist. I'm not interested in people who think that and dancers who don't believe they have more to learn. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. I want excavators of the craft, constantly seeking, and kindness. Kindness is a really, really big one. Respectful, kind, and full of want.
Was the dance world a bit unkind? Does it have as you were coming up, did you find it tough? Was there a lot of competition? We hear these stories, about the ballet world or like how tough it is. Did you experience any being difficult amongst each other, amongst peers?
If I did, it wasn't my intention. I don't think my brain channels even go there, because I can't care. Do you know what I'm saying? I can't care about that. I just can't, because A, I do care. B, I love it so much I can't be stunted by a judgment that may get me in a tizzy where I'm frozen and I can't be myself. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I can't care. So I'm sure. Do I think that there's been judgment? Have I seen it? Yeah. Do I read it? No. Do I read reviews? No. Do I get all up in the mix of that? No. Because I'm a person and I'm sensitive. So it's not that I'm this invincible person. It's just that I don't have time to waste. It's a waste of time. It's not my responsibility, what Martha Graham says. It's not my responsibility to take time with your opinion about me.
Yeah, especially, we spend so much time reading all this crap or obsessing about this crap or worrying about it when we could actually take that time creating something brand new.
Yeah.
If you think about the time we spend worrying when we could be creating a new piece, writing a new piece, doing something that we love.
Yeah, and I'm not even saying none of that is substantial or matters, sure. But for me and for my path, as you can tell, it's very serious. The legacy for me that I want to maintain, it's really important to me. So, and I have a heart and I'm a human and my feelings get hurt. So how can I control the narrative so that doesn't happen? Does that make sense? So I just don't involve myself because I need to stay focused, because I think it's, for me, what a sin inside of me not to really celebrate who I am in this very short time on this earth. Dramatic, but true. It was a really dramatic statement, but it's really true. I really believe that,
So you're such a creative person, and obviously you love dance. I could
Sweating.
The moment you got on here, I love it. So what are you doing during this period? Is this a challenging time for you? You can't be around all those friends as often as you'd like and be sweating.
Yeah.
You should be. If you're sweating right now just talking about it, I can't even imagine what it's like in a room. So how are you keeping the spirit going?
At first, I couldn't at all. At first, I was like, what is all these Zoom classes? I'm not ready. What is this? Oh my God, what's going to happen? I was frozen on the couch, and devastated and scared, all of the things that we all have been. And then I just started thinking, okay, I can't stay this way. So how do I figure this out? How do I figure it out? And for me, I kept saying, I always try to hold on to my first thoughts. It's a waft, it's a statement that passes my brain. And I kept saying, put your foot on the gas. Just put your foot on the gas. So I started to put my foot on the gas, which means I'm dancing on my roof. I'm doing Zoom classes. I'm having some Zoom sessions just to play around. Me and the Moulin Rouge associates for the many Moulin Rouges, God willing, that will happen eventually, are having sessions weekly and learning the choreography via Zoom, talking about how it started via Zoom. Foot on the gas. Ideas in the ether that I really feel could heal. I really feel that. So ideas. I'm the concert dance world. In like concert companies, like the Graham Company, all 10 Hairy Legs, like all of these different companies that I have been gifted commissions to work for. I'm doing my own piece with Moses Sumney as well. All of those may start before Broadway, so I'm able to be fed still in different ways. But the minute I had that statement pass my mind is when things started to change. And I really believe that if we could just continue to and the freedom of just playing, just moving around, exploring ideas and not knowing when the opening date is, there's something really beautiful about that. There's a freedom in there. Does that make, there's like a, sometimes I feel like a little kid in a playground, and I want to hold myself to that when I come back to the pressure. When the world opens back up and theater and everything opens back up, I want to make sure, I want to try to bring that with me, just to play, just bring ideas out into the universe and hope that they form themselves when the world is ready.
I love this idea of just keep your foot on the gas, put your foot on the grass, and go forward, whatever that means.
Yeah, and everybody's different, and no one should be judged for, you know, at first it was like, I'm reading 12 books I haven't read. I'm doing this new exercise routine. I'm doing this. And you're like, oh, I'm sitting here.
Eating Oreos.
I'm crying. Like, everyone needs to give everyone space to handle this in the way that they know how and the way that they can. You know, I think it's just a reminder that the pace we were going was just not practical. It was moving too fast. And I'm glad if I could find gems within this trauma, it's that. It's how to take space, how to give space, and how to think a little longer and deeper about each other.
That is one of the most brilliant perspectives I've heard on this whole thing, because I used to say a lot that, especially in New York City, during the winter, it's fun every once in a while a blizzard comes and like will shut the city down.
Yeah.
And I used to like walk around and be like, see, every once in a while, Mother Nature just creeps back into our lives and goes, I'm the boss. I am the boss. And I feel like this time she really stepped up and said, you guys, just as you did, you're moving way too fast. I'm shutting this shit down right now.
And you're moving past each other with no conscious awareness of what people are going through. So I was saying before, she was like, go to your room. Go to your room and think about your choices. You know
and don't come out for a very, very long time. I will let you know when you can come out.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. I love your positivity. I love your passion for what you do. I'm so thankful you were here. It's great to meet you. I can't wait till Mother Nature lets us all out of our room and we can share a meal together inside.
Share a meal, shake your hand, give you a hug. I truly look forward to that. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Sonya Tayeh, everybody. That was such a treat. I mean, I'm going to be thinking about that stuff all night long. I hope you are too. That's why I started this thing. I literally, those last 5 minutes are why I started this. Because there are moments, and listen, this thing for me is like a wave. So there are days where I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I'm going on the best diet. I'm going to run 5 miles. Actually, I'm never going to run 5 miles, but I'm going to write this. I'm going to do this. And then there are other days where I just want to eat a box of Oreos. But it's inspiring people like that remind me of what it's all about, and how to keep going, which is sometimes just let yourself feel. And then just put your foot on the gas just a little bit at a time. So I hope that helped you in whatever pursuit you are pursuing right now. Big thanks to Sonya for being here tonight. What's up next week? Don't forget Matthew Lopez, incredible playwright of The Inheritance. If you caught that two-parter, magnificent piece of theater. And don't forget about all the replays, and don't forget about the Actors Fund, right? The Actors Fund is why we're here. So we're going to go out with a very, very special something to make you smile. And honestly, this is something that the story made a lot of people's hearts break, including mine, which is why I got involved with the story to begin with. I think everyone knows about Nick Cordero and his story and his battle with the coronavirus, which unfortunately he lost just what seems like it has to be a month ago now or 2 months ago now. Well, he lost that battle, but he's still with us. And the entire Broadway community, this has been a very rough time for our community in so many ways. And the entire community came together and did a tribute video for him, which I was very proud to have produced. One of the great ones, his song from, look at all those incredible artists there. His song from A Bronx Tale. They came together for this video, which we're going to play for you now. It premiered at his memorial on Broadway on demand over the weekend. If this song touches you and Nick's life touches you, think about giving a little to another charity called Music Cares. It's just at Music Cares. It was Nick's wife's charity of choice for the memorial. So check that out. But please, I hope you will enjoy this tribute to an incredible, incredible guy who really is the heart and the spirit of our community. So this one's for Nick.
There's a kind of a girl who can send your heart whirling away. But those are the kind you don't happen to find every day. You'll meet smart ones and tough ones, just good enough ones. They're fine, kid, go out there, enjoy. But in all of your life, you get only 3 shots at the real McCoy. And this one could be one of the great ones. This one could be one of the ones you won't forget. If the stars in her eyes make your confidence rise like a rocket that's ready to blow, then she might be one of your great ones. Don't let her go. Now you know instantly when one of your 3 comes along, 'cause she gazes at you and it's like you can do nothing wrong. All the sweet ones, the slight ones, the close but not quite ones, with them you just get what you see. But the great ones, kid, what they're showing you is the man you could be. And this girl could be one of the great ones. This one could be one of the ones on who you bet. Do you fly off the rails with the wind in your sails? Whenever she sends you a glance, then she might be one of your great ones. Don't blow your chance. Yeah, this one could be one of the great ones. Yeah, this one could be one of the ones you won't regret. If she's smiling at you like she knows you'll come through and makes you believe it somehow, then kid, you found one of those great ones. Go to her now. Go to her now. Kid, go to her now.